Hi everyone and warm welcome to another wonderful video of The Books Don't Lie. My name is Amit, and with the help of this wonderful video podcast on the book review, I really want to present one of those mind-boggling and kind of nerve-wracking book, which is again not a fiction book, is a true story of two wonderful individuals known as Professor Morrie and his student, who later became a very well known, renowned sports anchor by the name Mitchalbom. Now, Mitchalbom has his book, and the book is known as the Tuesdays with Morrie, which is this. And it's my recommendation to all of you, if you are someone who believes in values and rituals and principles, that this is a book which can be gifted to anybody who loves life, who loves relationship, or somebody who understands the value of old folks, young folks, and in general the principles of human life. I've read this book multiple times, and trust me, each time when I pick this book, I end up getting sentimental, because it talks about the 14 wonderful Tuesdays with Mitchalbom had a chance to spend with his so-called dying professor, Mr. Morrie, in his old days when he was bedridden. Let's talk about some of the three most important points which I feel I have picked up from this book, and I'll be more than happy to share, because for me this is a book which is not a book, it's a life lesson from somebody who is dying, and someone who is already knowing that he has very few years left in his life and is full of life and kind of relentless in his approach. So let's talk about it. Now, Mitchalbom, the student of Professor Morrie, comes from the country of United States of America, and these two people meet at a time when Morrie is there on his wheelchair, has been paralyzed, cannot walk, cannot eat food properly, and they meet at a time when they are discussing some of the life's valuable lesson. The point number one which I really want to talk about from the book is this, is Morrie's love towards life. So Morrie is on his deathbed. He gets the news of one of his friends wherein his friend has died, and now Morrie, even though he's on his wheelchair, gets up and talks to his family members to take him to the funeral of his friend. When he reaches there, he says, you know what a waste. This is a statement Morrie uses at a time when his friend is going to get buried. And later on, when someone asked him, why did you comment such a weirdo stuff at a moment where you shouldn't be doing it, he said, my friend made a mistake. If he really wanted people to come back and talk to him and give him so-called empathy, sympathy, and make him feel good about it, he should have done earlier and not at the time of his death. And trust me, post this conversation, Morrie called all of his good friends, mates, professor, colleagues, and said, I don't want you guys to come and talk to me on my deathbed. If you have something to say it right now, and please take this situation as one of my alive funeral. And that's what Morrie did. It really talks about the man understanding of life and how proactive he was, even though he knew that he has a very few years left to live. Point number two, the memories Morrie made. Now, in this wonderful conversation, so-called scintillating conversation of this book, he happens to meet one of the most famous broadcasters from the USA, so-called the ABC network. His name is Ted Koppel, and he agrees to do an interview because he is also a very famous professor. And Ted Koppel, so-called the ABC host, who has in multiple channels, interviews, knows to be a nasty sarcasm, gets down with Morrie on one of his interview days, and before the interview starts, Ted's friend speaks to Morrie's friend, and he literally gives a statement stating that I hope Ted is not going to take him for a ride. On the contrary, Morrie's friend replies stating, well, I feel the opposite. I hope Morrie don't take him for a ride. Now, as the interview starts, the first question which was supposed to be asked by ABC host is going to get uttered from the mouth of Morrie. And the Morrie's first question is, so Mr. Koppel, tell me something about the things which you like. He says, I like my kids. That's wonderful. All right, what do you say about faith? And then the moment he utters the word about faith and stuff, the ABC host kind of gets a bit awkward, and he says, you know what, I've just known you for 2 minutes. You just cannot talk to me about my personal details, and it's quite weirdo. And by the way, I do not even know you. You're one of those common human beings. And the reply of the gentleman, so-called Morrie, comes in a statement. He says, you know what? I'm not just a common man. I am a dying man. Point number 3, which I really loved about this particular conversation, and it talks about a wonderful, wonderful point which we all must keep in our respective lives. Whatever you do in life, whatever you kind of relationship you maintain with your senior, junior folks, office colleagues, and the one thing which I have learned from this book, which I also want to let you all have, and probably you should implement the way I'm implementing, is you should always forgive people. Come what may the crime, whatever the degree of crime he or she has done, you should always let people get forgiveness. You should forgive people so that you can rest in peace and they can also rest in peace, because it'll be too late, if you try to forget them at a time, and if you try to find out when they're already gone. So forgiveness is something which in the book of Dr. Morrie says that it's the biggest gift a human man can give to other, in case if he has to forgive others, and if you happen to forgive others, that's the best you can do for yourself. I hope this scintillating conversation about Tuesdays with Morrie is going to bring a change in your life. In case it does, you give me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and please spread this beautiful piece of information to everybody, especially people, those who love their parents, mom and dad, folks, and those who believe in true and so-called genuine relationships. Till next time, you take care, and thanks for watching.